All right,
So we get Cuvey versus...
Yeah, we have John Cuvey against Bruce Strong. Bruce is a blue-white Delver player. The winner of this match will be facing off against Lou Laskin in the semifinals tomorrow morning.
And this list looks fairly similar to the Logan Mize, Steve Mann list that we've seen in feature matches.
It's slightly different.
It's slightly different. It has 9 colorless lands, including 4 Glimmer Posts, but a much healthier assortment of colored sources. And it sideboards 3 Cavernous Souls. So he's doing this
the fact that
diligence.
he was able to win game 1 without his Cavernous Souls.
Yeah,
That's not an easy task. So
gets to
now,
board those in, make the matchup even better. I mean, he has Pillar of Flame, which is like a real big deal when like Delver wants to land Delver, flip it, and then just protect. Just have 7 turns go by where they don't die. And Pillar of Flame does a lot of work to stop that.
Yeah, Slagstorm also very good against the Delver deck. Whipflare also very good against the Delver deck. I mean, his deck's just really well positioned. I think, you know, this deck is one of the major reasons the Delver is falling out of favor pretty quickly.
I agree.
Is the versions of Ramp that get to play Cavernous Souls.
Well, and Huntmaster of the Fells is just such a naturally good card against them.
Oh yeah, it just does everything you want it to.
Yep. It's basically a green-red aggro, but instead of them peeling Llanowar Elves off the top, they peel Primeval Titans, Wormcoil Engines, and Zeniths for Primeval Titans for more Glimmer Posts or more Inkmoth Nexuses.
Huh.
So
Now, Cuvey, a little bit of background information on him. The last 3 Magic Online PTQs, and these are tournaments like 1,000 people in them.
Yeah.
He has top 8 all of them.
it's pretty filthy.
Yeah, that's like top 3 Grand Prix in a row.
And yet, some people at home just don't know who he is. It's surprising.
Well, probably not. I mean, it would be hard to know who he is. I mean, he hasn't really had success at very many, like, at big tournaments.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame that Moto PTQs aren't more covered, because he would certainly have a more recognizable name.
Yeah.
But I think that he is one of the better players playing the game on the PTQ circuit.
Yeah, and I mean, if he's posting 3 online PTQ top 8s in a row, I mean, we can be pretty sure that we'll be seeing this guy in the Pro Tour in the relatively near future. And, you know, if somebody's putting up those numbers, they're probably going to do well at the Pro Tour.
Yeah, absolutely. So, John Cuvelier, someone to
to watch out for. Yeah. Going to be interesting here because Lou going to have to play against the winner of this matchup. I'm sure Lou would, despite Cuvey being such a master, Lou would rather Cuvey win this match than Bruce Strong. He would much rather be fighting against Wolfrun than against Blue White Delver.
Bruce, the one deck that Lou really doesn't want to see.
Yeah. Bruce, earlier this tournament, we watched him get hoofed. All right, so oh, okay. Somebody on Twitter is asking if Lou didn't pay extra for the Thalia when he cast the Snag and the Probe. That was after the Thalia was already dead.
Yeah, he dismembered it first.
He dismembered the Thalia immediately. He did it on turn at the end of his opponent's turn 3.
Yeah.
So, just to clarify that, it was no longer in play. So these two shuffling up. I wonder how these two are going to sideboard. Bruce Strong in his board has access to Active Aggression. It's going to be pretty good here. Sort of Feast and Famine, another very nice one against this type of deck. Those are definitely the 2 cards that he wants to bring in more than any others.
Yeah. Cuvey has 3 Cavern.
He has Whipflare, definitely coming in.
A Grudge, probably.
Yeah, you're definitely siding in the 1 Grudge. You side in another Huntmaster.
And a Whipflare. And the Wormcoil. Do you side in Wormcoil?
I don't know
No,
if you
no,
side
probably
on
not.
Wurmcoil. You might.
Not against their Phantasmal Image Vapor Snag deck. Never mind.
Yeah, I guess that's just
No
hard.
Wurmcoil.
Not siding against any Vapor Snag deck, right?
Right.
Alright, so a Jataxian Probe is going to give Bruce full information in this game.
About
And we get
how
to see-
sick Kuvie's hand is.
Yeah, Cuvier's hand, pretty insane. He has a Viridian Corruptor, a Whip Flare, a Slag Storm, a Hunt Master of the Fells, a Glimmer Post, a Forest, and a Rootbound Crag.
So if he draws a mountain at any point, he's just super set.
Yeah, I mean, I think with this hand, Bruce has his work cut out for him. But I mean, one of the strongest points of Bruce's deck is that, he can.
Now that he has this information, he can sculpt his game plan around knowing that he's going to get sweepered twice and hunt mastered.
Yeah, like he never has to commit more than one guy into a sweeper.
Yeah. And there is no inbound Titan.
Mm-hmm.
The best threat and the only threat in his opponent's hand is Huntmaster of the Fells.
Yeah, quite a good threat, but nevertheless, it's not a Titan. There's a big difference between a 4-drop and a Titan. Alright, Bruce going to continue developing with that Ponder. Finds an active aggression there.
I don't like him tapping Seachrome Coast there. I know it doesn't matter.
It's
Humor me for a
Delver, so
sec.
there's no one casting cost white spell.
Yeah, but humor me for a sec. I mean,
Obviously, it's good practice not to, but
Yeah.
it's Delver. All the cards that cost 1 mana cost 1 blue mana, so it literally makes no
right,
sense. no matter
but
what.
if you make it a habit of tapping your Seachrome Coast for Ponder, then when you tap Island, like the one time that you have Celestial Purge, it's a noticeable thing. Like
Yeah,
if you have
but what if
Island to
it's just
Island,
completely random every time. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's fine. Then obviously it's good practice to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter.
sure. It doesn't matter here. It matters when he plays 3 more islands and then taps Seachrome Coast for Probe another time, and then taps Island for Ponder the turn after when he has Celestial Purge in hand.
And now Bruce in a somewhat awkward spot here because he doesn't have really any pressure to apply to his opponent. Here, a play that I would really like is if he just played Snapcaster Mage and used it to flashback to Ponder.
Yeah.
I think that's
Silver Gill
definitely
Adept is a very fine card against sweepers.
Yeah.
It is how many a
An
match
excellent
of Legacy
card.
has started slipping away for a control deck.
And
Having
Bruce
to kill
tanking on this
something.
one a little bit.
Having to kill something when they haven't committed an actual card is a miserable feeling.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I guess Bruce also has the option of maybe using the Snapcaster and flashing back to Jataxian Probe this turn, but
See how his hand is changed?
giving a little more information about John's hand. But at this point, he already knows the majority of John's hand,
Right.
and
He knows he's up against Whip Flare, Slag Storm, Hunt
he
Master.
really doesn't want to be drawing more lands at this point, doesn't he? He has another land in hand, and if you draw more than 4 lands with the,
They're just all dead.
yeah, it's just really bad. So
Are we going to have to quiet down?
I think there will be a Oracle text.
Okay.
okay. So we're stepping away from the table for a second, getting a little bit of Oracle text. We are going to need to be a little bit more quiet because even though we are on the other end of this hall, it is completely empty at this point. Only 2 more matches being played at this point.
So not a lot of humans to absorb the sound being carried over.
Correct. And a Glimmer Post from John. It's going to put John up to 21 here. And I imagine he's just going to pass the turn back. Alright, and Bruce finds another Snapcaster Mage.
You should really start running those out there.
Yeah, and I mean, you only need to run out one at a time, and they're actually quite good in this spot. They interact really well with John's hand. The Hunt Master is the only card he has that really, trumps them, but
Is that an Invisible Stalker?
it is an Invisible Stalker. Alright, Snapcaster, and that's going to flashback this Ponder. I like this play.
Yeah.
Alright, Bruce, pondering. I'm going to take a gander at what's on top. Finds another Snapcaster Mage. Pretty nice one.
Yeah, I like just chaining Silver Gill Adepts for as long as you can.
Yeah, and you also find there's also another active aggression on top of his deck, which is going to be, pretty good later on in the game. Once John starts playing Titans, he has no knowledge of the fact that Bruce already has one active aggression in hand and is about to have another one.
Yeah.
And
That's both of them.
yeah, if Bruce has any sort of board presence and is able to double active aggression and steal 2 Titans, the game just ends in the spot.
Yeah. I mean, John is less vulnerable to active aggression because his Titan, his 6s that aren't Primeval Titan are Worm Coil Engine as opposed to Inferno Titan.
It's definitely true. And I mean, he's not even going to have the Worm Coils in this matchup. So John's going to pop up to 23 thanks to Huntmaster of the Fells. It's going to make a nice wolf token. That's some pretty cool art there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
You know,
Whose
if you
art
want
is
to
that?
acquire some of those wolf tokens, you can order something from StarCityGames.com and you'll get some random tokens. Maybe you'll get a wolf.
Yeah.
All right, and active aggression coming from Bruce.
So did he pass and then it flipped? Yeah, that's what's going on. So he control. What happens is he passed in his turn. In Kuvi's upkeep, the Huntmaster triggered. In response, Bruce cast active aggression for 3 mana and 4 life. Stole the Huntmaster. The trigger still resolves. It still is linked to that card. It flips. Bruce controls the trigger and domed John for 2 and hit his wolf.
Actually, super tight play.
Yeah,
Yeah, not a play many people would see.
I agree. It's a little less strong given that John didn't really need the trigger to stabilize.
Yeah, I mean, given the circumstances, it's not really going to help him that much just because John's hand is so good here for the matchup.
Yeah.
But
It basically saves his Snapcaster.
yeah, but I
and
mean,
kills the wolf.
It kills the wolf. For 1 card, he gets the Stavis Snapcaster, kill the wolf, deal John 2 damage, and gain 2 life.
Right.
Which is pretty good for a card.
I agree. As they go, it's
Or rather
nice.
lose 2 life because he paid 4
Right.
for the Phyrexian cost.
The attack. So what does he have here?
Gut shot, Snapcaster, gut shot.
It seems painful. Do you keep gut shot in against ramp for their 1 birds? Or their Inkmoth Nexus, I guess?
You move for Inkmoth. I mean, Inkmoth is the only thing that can block your swords, and he does have Feast Famine post board.
Yeah, I feel like I just snap block here. Snap block with Ravager. If he wants to,
I mean, this is a weird game for John.
Yeah.
Isn't this a weird game? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I guess I would block, but after some thought.
Yeah. Gut shot it. Pay 2 life. Just run it back with Snapcaster Mage. Gut shot it again.
Yep, and the gut shot is RFG'd now.
Yeah. That gut shot needs to get out. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's fine because Bruce is at 12 and still only has a Snapcaster for pressure.
Yeah, but
John
I mean,
is at
Bruce has just as many cards in his
21.
hand. I mean,
John's at 21 though.
yeah, and I mean, it's
Eventually he's going to draw a Cavern of Souls, right?
probably. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
And it's named
Giant.
Giant.
Counter this.
And that's unfortunate for Bruce.
It's entirely
not really.
predictable, man.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce can obviously see that coming, but Bruce didn't really have like many other options this time.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like he.
I think he needs to mulligan to a hand with Delver or Geist.
That's reasonable.
I don't think that he can keep like the dirtily Snapcaster, Probe Ponder, Invisible Stalker hands.
Well, he was also on 6 cards when we started,
That's fair.
and he had like a 2-lander with Seachrome Coast Island on 6 cards that had like a Taxium Probe and a Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really
Yeah.
mulligan that, right? Like,
Legitimate.
you can't go to 5 with that hand. Hypothetically, you can, but
It's probably not going to help you that much.
Yeah.
And it definitely, like, jamming that hand loses to Kuvi's Keep very, very poorly.
yeah, I don't think there is a 5-card hand that you can have with Delver that beats Kuvi's opener.
Yeah. Kuvi's opener just beats the top end of Bruce's range all day long. Which is why Kuvi's hand is so amazing. Is because if Bruce kept a bad hand, then Kuvi still has time to draw into some of his better cards. If Bruce kept a good hand, then Kuvi's hand interacts very well with it. Because Bruce's good hands involve very powerful X2s in Insectile Aberration and Geist of St. Trapped.
Yep, at very early
And-
stage of the game, and the Whip Flare and Slagstorm.
I agree. It's very
So
good
good there.
cards. Slagstorm, still uncastable, however.
Yeah, I mean,
This
those
whole
9
Glimmer
colorless
Post thing.
lands, definitely very interesting that he chose 4 Slagstorms for the main. I mean, he just has 4 Rootbound Crags, 4 Carverline Gorges, and 3 Mountains. I guess he also has 1 Bird's Paradise and Rampant Growths, but I mean, that's only 11 lands that produce red mana, and we're not advised playing a spell that costs 1 RR. You know,
Right.
A few things. All right, and a Vapor Snag from Bruce Strong comes down. And I guess the other red card was not an active aggression, it was a gut shot.
I see.
I assumed it was an active aggression because I didn't think he would have gut shots in post board.
Yeah, me either.
Invisible Stalker for Bruce. I'm going to pass the turn over.
Yeah, what Bruce really wants here is 5th land plus equipment. I think I saw Thought Scour in his hand. Cuvelier has a dangerously high number of cards in his hand. I think you have to Whip Flare here.
Yeah, I think he just whip flares and then prevents himself from like losing to some weird like Rune Chanter spike shenanigan.
Or just land Sword of War and Peace, equipped to Invisible Stalker, getcha.
Yeah, I mean that can just go all the way.
Yeah, I mean that would have just like got him for like 8 or 9.
And
doesn't have a ton of ways to interact.
Has the Cavern and the
Use Cavern?
well, I mean his opponent only has 1 mana untapped.
Sure.
Doesn't even need to. Primal Titan coming down again, and yeah, the game is
This game is
out of
just
reach
slipping
really quickly
away
for Bruce. So Kubi, showing everybody
Just
how good he
Cavern of
actually
Souls
is.
yeah.
It's a couple of Glimmer Post.
Gains another 6 life.
Yeah, 8, I believe.
8. Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
a Glimmer Post underneath the Ink Moth.
Yeah, puts himself completely out of range. And I'd be interested to see if Bruce can find anything to do this game, because it does not look winnable to me.
Yeah, Thought Scour
Thought Scour.
himself. He doesn't
So,
have
Vapor
anything to
Snag
untap
and
and equip something. He does have this Phantasmal Image he just drew.
Yeah, going to be able to draw a card here. Phantasmal Image, pretty good when your opponent
Phantasmal
has a Titan in
Image.
play.
Yeah. Not as good when he has a Wolf Run in play, though.
Very true.
Can't get equipped.
He can, however.
Snapcaster Active Aggression. It's for a little later.
Well, I think he would, like right now, he's probably just going to Image, Titan, Snapcaster, Vapor Snag.
You still Snapcaster Vapor Snag? Because, like,
Yeah, maybe
you,
not.
you
I guess
Wolf
you
Run
can't really
the
win if you
image
do.
and then you just recast the Titan with Cavern. Just seems so ugly. I just don't think that Bruce has good options.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of his lines, that one looks the best, and it does not look good.
Yeah, it looks like it leaves him very, very dead.
Alright, Bruce is going to lead out there with Phantasmal Image, copying the Titan. Grab himself a
Moorland Haunter,
Moorland
too.
Haunt or 2. Maybe a Seachrome Coast and a Moorland Haunt. But I imagine just 2 Moorland Haunts.
Seachrome Coast Moorland Hunt, good call.
Seachrome Coast, Moorland Haunt. That's actually pretty reasonable for like many different reasons. Like there are some times where we're going to just need the extra blue, and you're never really activating double Moorland Haunt on people's
Right.
steps.
Like, you just run out of dudes too fast.
Yeah, and like everything in your deck is like a 1 blue mana cantrip. It's actually pretty relevant having 5 or 6 blue sources.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when, like, your objective is to leave up dual Moorland Haunt.
Mm-hmm.
You just want a bunch of duels. Go is not really what we want to be doing here.
Alright, and John with a few different options here. Yeah,
He is
the
preparing
world
to
is
Wolf
his
Run
oyster.
that image.
Yeah, I think the image will probably be Wolf Run immediately. And
Is cutting out some mana, trying to figure out. Yep, Wolf Run your image.
yeah, Bruce just spin that guy. No big deal.
He was trying to see if he had an infect to kill.
Yep.
Turns out he was too short.
And Cuvy here, entering his combat step. And
Getcha. Yeah,
Bruce
don't getcha.
stopping him at the beginning of combat. A few different options.
I mean,
None of them very good, but
yeah, Snapcaster Vapor Snag. Just delaying the inevitable.
And
In.
John in there for 1 infect.
I guess the main phase Wolf Run is probably a little loose. Right? Like, you attack and then Wolf Run?
After he declares blocks.
No. After you get your Primeval Titan trigger.
Oh. That makes sense.
Because, like, otherwise you just go straight for the Ink Moth Nug.
That does make sense.
Put him on, like, 8 infect.
Yeah, I like that. Well, and the Primal Titan tramples too, so even if you let it go to blockers,
Yeah.
blocks the Phantasmal damage, you're still going to get the 6 damage.
Yeah.
Bruce at 12, which is the number divisible by 6. So, 2 turns.
It's just still looking so bad. I mean, he's facing down Phyrexian Death next turn.
Oh yeah, I mean, at this point, John has 14 lands in play, and his lands do things.
They do a lot.
Yeah. I think John also has more cards in hand. It's one of the things that's so brutal about Primeval Titan is, you know, like every time you cast it, it's like better than a Mull Drifter.
Yeah.
The effect.
Yeah.
And it comes with like 6/6 trampling body. And it does it again every turn.
Yeah. You attack and you Mull Drifter again. The Momentary Blink deck would kill for that.
Can you imagine Mull Drifter every time you attack, you drew 2 cards? It would be slightly worse than Primeval Titan.
Oh, yeah. Just a little less good. I don't know if I'd even play it.
I'd swear it would be worse than Primeval Titan.
Yeah.
It actually would be.
Which is pretty sick.
It's really sick.
Meanwhile, Cuvy is starting to look like he's just laying his deck out here.
Yeah. We're watching the John Cuvey deck check.
Yeah. So here we have my Glimmer Posts, and here we have my Inkmoth Nexuses.
Yeah. Going through his options here, I mean, he has like a Green Zenith in hand.
What does he want to get that costs 14?
He get whatever.
Whatever he wants.
An Autocron Worm.
Yeah.
Oh, match loss. It's not legal.
Oh.
Can't play that 9/14, buddy.
It's so brutal that Autochthon Worm costs 15. Because, like, when you're playing Momir Basic, you have to, like, flip a coin to see if you get a Numerical.
Yeah.
It's so unfortunate. Sometimes you just get this 9/14 trampling do nothing.
I mean, you never get to 15 in Momir, do you?
There are some times where all the lands get returned from the graveyards.
Oh, that makes sense. I think you start casting 15s.
Yeah. Because you play the Emrakul lottery. The game is not as much fun then.
And you can just pay 16 and automatically get a 9/9 flyer.
Wow, that's lucky. It's probably way better than a 15/15 flying Annihilator 6 protection from every color spell.
Probably. I mean,
Is Bruce dead yet?
it was the first Draco. It was the Draco before Draco and Malfoy. Does the Harry Potter book predate Plane Shift?
No.
Yeah, Plane Shift.
No, Plane Shift
2001,
definitely came
right?
first.
Is it 2001 Plane Shift? I don't know. Around that period. Anyway, so some decision making here going on. Sorry, guys. We've had a little while where nothing's happened, and
Hanging out with
I
14
don't-
lands.
Yeah,
and a
there's like
Primeval
there's
Titan.
nothing really happening, and
Attack with Primeval Titan. Just playing it real safe.
yeah. So 2 lands going to come into play here for Cuvey.
His 2 worst ones.
Chooses 2 Copperline Gorge. Well chosen. You know, if he had gone with something else, maybe it could have ruined everything for him.
I mean, he's walking a tightrope here.
And,
He
will
definitely
choose
can't
to activate
let
a
Bruce
Wolfrun?
back into this game. We now have confirmation that Plane Shift created the second Draco.
Yeah.
That Malfoy predated Erratic Explosion. 1998 was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the British version of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which was book 1 of the Septilogy.
Now another Snapcaster Mage comes out and going to Vapor Snag that Primeval Titan back to John's hand. Bruce with just an Invisible Stalker left in his hand now. Not looking great for him. Meanwhile, at this point, John can
Recast it.
recast Primeval Titan and then also cast like a Green Sun Zenith for another Primeval Titan.
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe he can get like a Vorinclex. Who knows?
Yeah, man. Maybe he'll draw like Devil's Play. Doesn't have that in his deck, but could.
Yeah, Devil's Play. I mean, it's a sideboard card.
Just get more
Highly doubt he
caverns.
has it.
What are you naming? Human and Construct? All my
suppose
stuff is
so.
uncounterable.
All of my creatures are uncounterable now.
You can't mana leak any of them. I won't let you.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, at this point, I guess with shuffling, is he going to cast his Zenith now and have to search his library again?
Please no. John, please.
So, John now tanking a little bit. I don't think there's any way John could probably win this game,
Comet hits the table.
even if he got hit by a meteor at this point.
I mean,
A Shivan meteor could hit him. Not just any meteor.
A Shivan?
Shivan meteor.
I still think that Inkmoth Nexus and Wolfrun will figure out how to dispatch Bruce.
At this point, a Shivan meteor is only half of John's life total.
Okay, Bruce is done. I still had all these. I still had all these Primeval Titans and Green Sun Zeniths and Viridian Corruptors